It's time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
If you said Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
You're correct. Now, back to the show.
It's weird. He can't get near some lines, and the other ones he just nailed.
Nailed that one.
Ozzy was
I'd
actually-
watch a whole Die Hard trilogy with that.
The thing that's funny, I forgot, but I put Ozzy in a movie called The Hammer, and he just played himself, but he was a star of the movie. And Pete Berg, who's done every action, Friday Night Lights and everything, was in here. And he saw The Hammer years ago, and he said, that guy who played Ozzy.
I remember him vaguely, too. I haven't seen.
That guy was amazing. Who is that actor? I was like, that's Ozzy. That's just a dude. How'd you cast him? I was like, cast him. We built apartments together when we were in our
the whole
20s
movie
and
was
30s.
built around him.
Yeah. All right, what do you got? Some news?
You know what? First up, we got some science news. The sci-fi fairy tale of de-extinction may become a reality. Colossal Laboratories, the ominous name, and Biosciences have revived dire wolves from extinction. It's like a wolf, but bigger and woolly. There's some footage right here. Yeah, apparently these little pups grew like twice the size of a full-grown wolf only in 6 months.
All right, well, first things first. I want to say this about movie plots and themes. When you do Jurassic Park and you go, wait a minute, where are these dinosaurs coming from? And they go, well, they're mosquitoes who stung them 10 million years ago, and they're encased in amber now.
Hey, Mr. DNA, where'd DNA come from?
Right.
From your blood.
That's right. Okay, and then I, as a viewer, I say to myself, okay, I'm in. It's feasible enough. I couldn't do it, but I could imagine a world where one day it was done.
Suspend that disbelief.
Right. But then there's movies where it's like these two guys switch personalities. What happened? Well, they were peeing into the same fountain when lightning hit the fountain. And I go, how does that make them switch personalities? And they go, no. See, in Liar, Liar, yeah, Jim Carrey's son, yeah, he wished at his birthday party, his 6th birthday, he wished that Jim Carrey would stop lying. And I go, okay. And you wish your dad would stop throwing beer bottles at you, right? Did it work?
No.
No, I wish my dad made some fucking money. We could go out to eat every once in a while. But did it work? No. So what I need is something more than a 6-year-old wishing before he blows out a candle on a birthday cake, or two dudes pissing into a fountain at the same time when lightning strikes. I need some DNA in the blood.
This is science fact. Their gene editing technology called CRISPR enabled the scientists to re-edit the genes of gray wolves that live today, the closest living relative. So they just reorganized their DNA, and out comes a dire wolf.
So this is going to lead to things that we can't anticipate.
To be honest, there's already things like CRISPR has been used to make cats glow in the dark.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's already getting weird out there, Carolla, I'm telling you.
Well, okay, but here's where it's really going. It's really, first off, every piece of technology always ends up in porn.
Oh, yeah.
It's always porn.
Genetically engineered
it all
huge
starts
hog.
off as great. Like the internet starts off as you could do your taxes over the computer or something, and then it's always porn. Everything ends up being porn.
All roads lead to porn.
At some point, like 300 years from now, you're going to go, well, Taylor Swift never did any porn, did she? Well, she didn't. But we got some of her DNA. And we're going to build Taylor Swift, and she's going to do porn. And now there's legalities.
Yeah,
Does the estate of Taylor Swift get money from her porn doppelganger?
I'm just asking if Adam Carolla clone, who's pushing his dick around in a shopping cart, gets the banger.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, then they start charging to lay down with Taylor Swift.
Damn, you're right.
Now, there was a story, and I've told you guys a million years ago, that a guy, like a rancher, had a prized longhorn steer.
Yeah.
It had some euphemistic name like Lucky or something. And the University of Austin or something cloned him.
Ooh.
It was like the first cloned steer. And you can look it up, Jesse. The first cloned, it's a cloned steer. It's been 15, 20 years, but it's like a cloned longhorn. And the guy who was a beloved longhorn owner who died, the steer died, but then he got his clone steer, and he was like reunited with his clone steer, but the thing was evil.
I was gonna say, did it have a mustache?
It was like Hasselhoff.
Oh no!
And Knight Rider when his evil twin drives a semi truck. The rancher in Texas, he cloned his prized Texas Longhorn steer named Watson, who had the longest horns of any longhorn in the world.
What was the clone's name? Sherlock?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. After he was castrated, the breeder saw the potential. Anyway, the thing gored him.
Get the
and
fuck
it
out
gored
of here.
a few other people because he was cloned, but he wasn't the same.
Cruel twist of fate.
Yeah, there's a whole story. You guys can look it up, but it doesn't always work out.
If you're used to Watson, you go ahead and pet his snout all the time, and then you walk up on Sherlock and he fucks you up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I got my dog, Phil. He's the greatest. He's a big dude. He's the lover. And if someone cloned him, I'd walk up and go, Phil, and then he'd bite me. So that's what happens. So it's not all like Taylor Swift could punch you in the cock when you're going to lay down with her. We don't know if it'd be the same as this one.
Yeah.
All right. So it's on. I mean, we're heading to Jurassic Park.
We're here.
So
we're living in it.
It's like a million years ago in the Dick Tracy cartoon, like the commissioner would call and he'd hit his watch and he'd see a picture of the commissioner and go, Commissioner. And you'd go, oh, come on. That's never. We're here.
Yeah.
So we're going to be here. So my son's son will get to have sex with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or whoever.
Three-way with two-headed Sabrina Carpenter.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm into it.
Me too.
Moving on, Bill Maher says he doesn't hate Trump and says he's one of the most effective politicians. Yeah, on Sunday's episode of Club Random podcast, Maher said, here we go.
Trump
Really interesting.
is one of the most effective politicians, whatever you think of the policy and him as a person, just as a politician, just understanding that always lean in to being more who you are. The people are not savvy about issues, but they smell a phony a mile away. And that kind of shit, nobody else does it. You know, there's a couple of times when, look, I've been his biggest critic for good reason. And when he got reelected, I said, I'm not going to pre-hate anything. And then the first week I said, well, there's lots of things I hate because I do. Okay, there's some things I don't hate also, but the way he can do that and sometimes kind of make me go, oh man, I got to give it up. Like when he did that thing where the guy came in from the Taliban and he said, this is an aerial picture of your house. If during our withdrawal, one American is hurt, just know I know where you live. I was like, oh, can we just play the music now? Because
Gangster.
I don't care. It's Donald Trump and he's the worst person ever, blah, blah, blah. I fucking love that. One time they were doing something was going on with, and he said, you know what? When you come after New York, you got to go through me. It's like, oh, hometown boy. You know, he has those moments that no other politician has. And the Democrats have to find that guy.
Yeah. They're not in the current Democratic roster. They're not going to find that guy because It's kind of an interesting. There's an inauthenticity to these guys, and it's kind of insane. I don't know. I liked a Tim Waltz. There's a Tim Waltz tweet that I liked from last night, which is kind of interesting because they do their. He's kind of the problem with them, which is doing a simulation of a person, but not actually being that person.
Like kowtowing to the weakest of the weak and pulling everybody's level down to that level, seems like.
Yeah, trying to come across as a dude. There's nothing worse than a weird dude trying to come across as a regular dude. That never works. It's sort of like a nerd goes and buys cowboy boots, so he thinks it's going to dude him up, and then you see a guy walking weird in cowboy boots, and now you take notice, and you go, it's worse than fucking sneakers. You're not helping your cause by attempting to do this simulation of a dude. But he gave this speech. Yeah, here it is. It's it's uncanny to me, but I think it means the audience thinks. You think the audience is stupid, and maybe they are. It's this bizarre approach with who's paying taxes, which, by the way, it's been going on for a long time. I told you guys, my mom said to me 8 years ago, she's like, but rich people don't pay taxes. I go, the fuck we don't. You don't pay taxes. I pay a shitload in taxes. I've cut the government a check for $2 million. Don't tell me I don't pay taxes. I pay taxes. Rich people pay taxes. Now, they look for ways to pay less taxes.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what people do when the government wants a check for $2 million. They try to get it down to 1.7.
Reduce your exposure.
But listen to his assessment of rich people and the relationship with taxes. And God, do I wish he was correct. I wish he was right. Here we go.
I think Democrats supporting families, supporting the working class, supporting unions, but I think we have to separate and have a message here. It's okay in America to be successful. We should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is, once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that. Pay your tax and do that. And
all right, hold on for a second. First things first. The audience, a smattering of applause for work hard, be successful, start a business. That's like a polite golf, like, right. Pay your taxes, greedy bastard. Woo! Yeah. That's a knockout at the UFC. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and work hard, start a business, make your money. But hey, man, once you make money, come on, don't be greedy. Pay your taxes. First off, it's not optional. I ask Wesley Snipes if it's optional. Ask me. I cut a check for $2 million. If it was optional, I wouldn't have done it. They make you pay your taxes, and if they don't, they fucking throw you in jail. They'll take away your passport if you owe. I owed them money. I tried to travel out of the country. They're like, no, you're not traveling out.
Really?
Yeah, you owe us money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so try not paying them. Tim Walz, his portrayal of greedy people is just like, I made a lot of money, not going to pay my taxes. I'll keep it all. I'm living in California.
It's like cartoonish.
You know what?
Yeah.
When I go to the supermarket and I buy my food and then they do the sales tax, I'm going to tell them to fuck right off. Sorry, bitches. Sorry, lady who works at Gelson's. You get nothing. And then when I buy like a home computer and it's like $2,200, but there's another 10% on for taxes, you know what I'm going to do? Pound sand, dude, at Mac store. Fuck right off. I'm greedy. I'm rich and I'm greedy. So I'm going to stop paying. And you know when I register my car at the DMV and they're like $587, I'm going to go, fuck off, man. Give me those tags. I'll take those tags. You get nothing. Yeah. I'm going to call Tony, my accountant, after the show and go, hey, man, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but What the fuck?
Tony, you're fired.
You're fired, Tony, because Tim Walz said this is voluntary, evidently. I thought we were... I thought we were compelled to do this by law, but I didn't know it was just a choice. Because we've been suckers, man. Paying hundreds of thousands of dollars every quarter. Yeah, let's hear his taxing one more time. It is awesome.
Don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that.
No.
Pay your tax and do that. And let those young men who see this, now I would argue this, we're creating a false narrative from them that everybody is super rich and has Lamborghinis and life is easy. But that's what we're going to have to figure out in our society about social media and all those things.
All right,
but I don't think...
Okay. This 10-cent tard should not be in charge of any policy because he doesn't know how policy works, evidently. He thinks we're in some sort of voluntary system where Elon Musk agrees to pay whatever he thinks he wants to pay for tax. First off, everyone is greedy. So you fucking do a fight, you make $100,000, and then the promoter goes, yeah, I need 15% of that. You would like to go, you know what? I'll give you $500, but I'm keeping the rest. You know what I mean? That's what I would like. I go out, bust my ass, play a bunch of clubs, and then someone goes, you know what? I booked all those shows, so I need 10%. I'd like to go, you know what? I'm the guy who got on an airplane, so here's $10. And something I got from Gelson's. I bought a papaya. Didn't pay tax on it because I told the bitch I wasn't paying taxes, and I waltzed out of the place. And that's my move. You know my move? It's a non-tax move. Yeah. So his approach to this is greedy guys. By the way, it's like you're talking to 9-year-olds with a learning disability. Like, hey, greedy guys. And I was like, okay, they're not greedy guys. They're business owners. They have payroll.
Everybody's trying to keep all their money.
And they're trying to keep as much as they can. I'll put it to you this way. Let's put it to you this way. I get on a plane. I go to the Desert Ridge Improv. I drive to the Burbank Airport. I park my car at the valet, $40 a night. I drag my luggage into the airport. I buy a ticket. I take a crowded Southwest flight to Phoenix, land on a Friday, check into the hotel, which I pay for, and then do 2 shows that night, and then come back to the hotel at 12:30 at night. And then the following day, I get up again and I do 2 shows again. And then I go back to the hotel again. And then on Sunday, I do 1 show. I pay for all the meals. I pay for the hotel. I pay for the flights. And on Monday morning, I get on a crowded Southwest flight and I fly back to Burbank so I can be at work here on a Monday afternoon. Okay. I'm going to turn it to you, Tim Walz. How much of that money do you think you deserve? How much do you deserve? How much do you deserve of that money, Tim? Would I be greedy if I just said I want to keep 90% of it? Would I be greedy?
I'm a greedy man. Pay your taxes.
You want 40% of it, and you don't even know I left the house. So shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. And by the way, all you dumb shits in the audience that are flapping your flippers at this shit, you're going nowhere. You're going to be losers. Do not get this mindset. Give us some money. Come on, man. Okay. I want to hear it one more time. I just go back to the start.
You just enjoy being pissed.
Go back to the start. He's such a fucking 10-cent head. And by the way, he knows... He's in government. He knows this isn't how it works. He goes, I'm talking to dopes. I'm talking to poor, dumb fucking people. So I'm going to pop a Mountain Dew and look like a poor, dumb people and feed them shit that's going to make them applause because they're poor and they're dumb.
Doritos for the soul.
Yeah, here we go.
I think Democrats supporting families, supporting the working class, supporting unions, but I think we have to separate and have a message here. It's okay in America to be successful. We should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is,
He's got problems.
Once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that.
Yeah. Woo!
pay your tax and do that.
Yeah, do that.
And
okay.
Let those.
Okay. He says nothing. He says nothing. This is
Let
nothing.
those young men.
Stop it. This doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. We have a code. It's enforced. You will be put in jail, or lien will be put on your building, or levies, or whatever, plus interest, plus penalties. There's a system. That evidently he's unaware of this system, or he is. He's a fucking lying sack of shit trying to pretend to be a human being. And he's in front of clearly dumb people. It's the same idiots 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when Obama's like, you start a business? You didn't do that yourself. Somebody else did that. And everyone's like, woo! It's like, okay, fucking hack, lazy losers. Okay, somebody else started your business. Okay.
Well, let me lighten the mood a bit, all right? Jay Leno visits Sacramento to support classic car smog exemption bill.
Yes.
Yeah, the bill will be known as the Leno Law, or Leno's Law. SB 712 proposes full exemptions for collector vehicles 35 years and older.
35 and older?
Yep.
You know what you want out of a law? You want it named after you while you're alive, but
yes.
You don't want it named after your daughter. That means she's gone.
You're done.
If you're named after your daughter, she's gone.
Oh, damn.
Somebody took her. She got abducted. You don't want Sarah's Law because it's like, oh, what the fuck happened to Sarah?
Yeah, and your phone will beep.
But you take, Bill Burr's Law because that'd be something cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what Jay? Sorry, we got Jay talking or just a picture?
This was important to me because I'm an enthusiast. I have a car bought in 1989. I still use it today. It's only got 27,000 miles on it. It looks brand new. But to get it smogged, I got to go, I'm in Burbank. I have to go to Downey. I have to go somewhere to try and find a smog station. How many miles I put more miles on it looking for smog stations than I do driving the thing, But it's true. I mean, I try to be the typical California enthusiast. During the week, I drive an electric car. My garage is all green. We have solar panels on the roof. We try to get off the grid as much as we can. And we try to do it in a way that we use environmentally safe products, biodegradable products when working on automobiles. And, they've come to my garage and given it the green sticker. So we try to do things the right way. But it's just hard when you have a vehicle that's not modified in any way. For example, if you have an old car and it's smoking, it doesn't matter how old it is, you're going to get a ticket. It's just not a well-maintained vehicle. But most enthusiasts maintain their cars to almost better than new condition, at least the people I know. And it just makes it such a hardship. Something that's legal in Nevada or Washington State, you drive right over the border and now your car is illegal and you can't have it in California. It's not even like we're looking for something special. Everybody else is 25 years. We're 35 years, so we do an extra 10 on there just to hopefully get it to pass. But
yeah, I mean, look, how many people these days have an older vehicle? No catalytic converter, and carburetors and whatever.
Everyone, if you live in Cuba.
Yeah, if you live in Cuba, everyone's driving a 55 Chevy.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, where are the smog checks in Cuba? I should open it. You should open a smog check place in Cuba. That's where you're going to make your money. And then when you do make your money, you got to not be greedy. You got to give us some of that money back, okay?
Pay the taxes, to the communist regime.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. So here's the deal. I don't even know what we're talking about because there's almost no classic cars around. They don't get driven very much and so on and so forth. I do know there's 1,000 leaf blowers burning 2-stroke oil with no catalytic converter at any given time within 3 blocks of this place. So unless you guys have outlawed power mower leaf blowers, internal combustion leaf mowers, I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I all day, every day, there's an army of leaf blowers in every neighborhood in Southern California. They're just blowing away. This black soot's just shooting out of the exhaust, and it's waking everyone up who's taking a nap. And unless you want to address that, I don't want to hear about Jay Leno and his Tornado, his 69 Oldsmobile Tornado.
Under existing law, cars insured as collector vehicles and built in model year 1975 or earlier are exempt from portions of the biennial smog test, but vehicles manufactured after 1976 must meet emissions requirements upon transfer of ownership and registration in California smog check program. This would eliminate those stipulations entirely, offering full exemption without the need for additional checks.
Well, look, the theme over here is always the same. Just stop making rules to get in our pocket to impose more of your.
It's like
your
extra
stuff
taxes on top of normal taxes.
Well,
and
I'm
then
not
you got
paying
parking
it.
tickets
I'm
and speeding
done paying.
tickets. It's like dumbass taxes.
You know what? I'm going out to dinner tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm buying, and I'm with a friend, and I'm going to a steakhouse, and that bill could come to $300,
Mm-hmm.
and then under it, it's going to have another thing that says tax, and it's going to be like $33. I ain't paying that.
Yeah,
shit.
don't.
I'll go, listen, here's $300. Here's $50 for the tip, but I'm not paying.
Send a bill
for
to
this
Tim
tax.
Waltz.
Send a bill to Tim Waltz.
Hey, next up, we got the richest women in the world, 2025. The richest woman of all is Walmart heir Alice Walton, whose fortune stands at an estimated $101 billion.
Well, I want to say this. I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna say it. Somebody tweeted me this, and it was a story. I think we can find it. It was a story from Forbes, and they were like, there's 67 billionaires who are women, but that's still woefully less than male billionaires, and we need to do a lot of work to get the women caught up to the males. And I was like, I thought billionaires were evil. Weren't you telling us billionaires? Why do you want more bitches to be billionaires if billionaires are evil, or women billionaires aren't evil? I think is what is that what I'm getting? So nobody needs to be a billionaire. Mm-hmm. All right. So women remain. So according to Forbes, who probably thinks Elon Musk is evil, Forbes says women remain woefully underrepresented on the 2025 list. But so out of 3,000 billionaires, there's only 406 that are women. Now, that's on the planet. First off, I don't know if you can use the word woefully when you're talking about billionaires.
I know.
Now, she's struggling because she only has 827 million. So she's just fucking getting by. That bitch over there has only got $750 million. She can't afford formula. She can't afford formula for a child. Woefully. Oh, yes, you're right. You give me one more thing to worry about. Oh, man, what's going on in the Middle East? What's going on with China tariffs? And now women not being represented in the billionaire department. They're woefully. There's 406 women who are billionaires.
Here's an interesting...
and many who are multi-millionaires.
Well, I'll have you know that 9 of the 10 wealthiest women on the list inherited their fortunes.
Sadly, I tweeted this out. And
I knew you liked that.
I said, look, okay. First off, we need 2 lists. We already have 2 lists. You have the male list and the female list. You probably have the black list. I mean, you'll do all the lists. You'll segregate all the lists. We need inherited it list that don't lump her in with the Spanx chick who fucking sewed the shit in her garage and went to swap meets in the 80s and sold this shit, out of a van. Why should she get lumped in with the chick that just slept with the dude who started the business?
The richest self-made woman on the list is Rafaela Apont-Diamant, the Swiss co-founder of the world's largest shipping line, whose net worth is $37.7 billion. She ranks as the 5th wealthiest woman of all, and one of just 113 self-made women on the list. Others include Oprah Winfrey and Taylor Swift.
So, all right. I just tweeted out, why are you worried about women not being billionaires if being a billionaire makes you evil? So they're a little inconsistent here because they're woefully underrepresented. But then a lot of people tweeted me how many women inherited this shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got divorced. My ex-wife has a lot more money than I have, so I get it. She has a lot more money than I have.
A sensitive subject, then.
Well, yeah, but she didn't do anything. She didn't earn any of it. She just
Didn't
got
write one single rant.
Not one rant. Inspired a few.
Inspired many.
Many. You're right. That's a good point. I think of it that way. So I don't know, but listen, who cares? And I do want a separate list of inherited the money.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the list would just be all the other ones other than 113. So let's subtract what was it? 300.
It was
113 self-made, and then 3,028 billionaires. So there you go. There's your list. Self-made versus.
There's 400 women billionaires, woefully underrepresented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder if they're
yeah.
talking. I wonder if that's part of when they do the Million Woman March.
Yeah.
And they all take to the streets. Do you think this is part of what they're asking for? There's not enough female billionaires?
Well, another fun fact is that none of these bitches pay taxes.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's how they got to be billionaires. Start paying your taxes. All right. You got another story?
No, that's it, bud.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, I was going to pontificate about the strength of Miriam Adelson. The top 10 is Melinda Gates.
Well, Melinda Gates just got divorced.
Exactly. She got the money. The wife of, or ex-wife, I should say, of Jeff Bezos is on the list. Jacqueline Mars
Listen,
of Mars
can
Bars
I say
fame.
this? Can I say this?
Yep.
When you apply for like certain things in life, like when you're filling out paperwork, right?
Yep.
And they'll go, I don't know, maybe it's just for unemployment or disability or something, or maybe it's a dating app, you know?
Right.
And you go, your annual income is, $10,000 to $30,000, $25,000 to $50,000, $50,000 to $75,000, and then at some point they just go $100,000 and above.
Yeah.
Because all right, you made enough
But
to
that's
qualify.
a big
whatever.
gulf,
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying with Belinda Gates.
Yeah.
She can't get by with $400 million. You know what I mean? She's 56 years old. That's not what I'm saying is does it? It's like child support. Child support is just a percentage. So my dad didn't make any money. So my child support would have been $30 a month, Right. But if my dad was a LeBron James, then the child support would be $87,000 a month.
And you play on the Lakers.
And he'd play on the Lakers.
Yeah.
And I'd be a different man.
Yeah.
But my point is does any child need $87,000 a month? Is what I'm saying. Like, why don't we cap it? Somebody go, look, this guy is a super rich dude. This guy hosts a late night show and he makes $30 million a year. And he's getting divorced and he has a 10-year-old. So they go, all right, well, let's just run the calculation. All right, he needs to pay $251,000 a month in child support. And then I would go, what child needs $251,000 a month to be raised? Like, why don't we just fucking cap it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, cap child support at $25K a month. Who needs more than $1,000 a month, a day, I should say, to raise their kid? And it should be that way with divorce shit too. Like Melinda Gates, look, Bill Gates is worth $50 billion. You didn't do anything to earn that $50 billion. Why are you taking $25 billion? Why don't you take $1 billion?
Yeah.
And then he'll take 49, and then you'll still be richer than everyone else on the planet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I guess
it would make sense.
Yeah. I guess the
Maybe
thought process
don't
is the
do that.
standard of living. They don't want the standard of living for that person to go down.
They don't do it in California. Yeah, it's a standard of living thing, but why is you got to be the Queen of Sheba for the rest of your life? Why is that standards go up, standards go down?
Yeah.
I'm renting a duplex in Burbank right now. My standard of living has gone down.
Balling out of control.
My standard of living has gone down. Do you know that?
Well, yeah. I mean, just stop paying your taxes; they'll go back up.
Damn. You're right. Remind me tonight when I'm at Morton's.
All right.
That bill comes, and I'm just going to circle whatever the tax is. I'll
Just
be like,
scratch that part out.
now, you know what I'll tell her? I'll tell my waitress, look, let's see, what do we got? 20%, $60, $300 bill, $60, right? Mm-hmm. California would be like $33 in taxes.
Yep.
I'll go, listen, I'm in a good mood. I give you the $300 for the steak and potatoes. I'm not paying my taxes because, I'm greedy. But you get a $60 tip. Now, if you want to take $33 out of the tip I'm giving you, you'll be down to $27. But if you're going to get into trouble, I'm not. I decide not to do this. I like my money. But you can go ahead and take some of the money out of your tip and put it toward the taxes if that's what you choose to do. But I was watching Tim, and I've figured out that I've been played for a fool and a sucker, and I'm not paying these taxes. Okay? And then the next day I'm going to do the same thing at the supermarket. And if I buy it like an RV or something, I'm doing the same thing.
How long before the IRS shows up and just battering rams your door and snatches you up out of that Burbank apartment?
Well, I will say this. There's no such thing as debtor's prison. Like the guy who rented my warehouse in Burbank a million years ago and never paid me rent and owed me $50,000, nothing we could do about him. There's nothing the government could do about him. But if you owe the government money, you will fucking go to prison. There is
a snatched up blade. There is put him in prison.
There's a debtor's prison that you think went out in old English days. No. We have debtor's prison. It's called owing the government money. Not owing me money. Not owing the landlord money. Not the taxpayer money. Not him. There's no prison.
You're walking around in manacles like the man in the iron mask.
Yeah, but there is prison for people who owe the government money. So just think about that. Next time you want to expand government, I guess. All right. I want to thank Josh Duhamel for coming in here and having a thoughtful conversation. Ransom Canyon, Netflix, coming up. Me, tomorrow, in, comedy, doing stand-up, American Comedy Club in San Diego. Come on by and say hi. 2 shows tomorrow, 2 shows Saturday. Go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Mayhem and Josh Duhamel saying mahalo.